And now it's time for The Real News with your host, Farron.
Hello and welcome to The Real News, your weekly current events and politics broadcast where you, the listener, can call in and sound in on your opinions. Our guest today will be Democratic candidate for Congress, Coach Roy Carter. He will be joining us after the first break. Our interview with David Ray Griffin did not go as planned, so perhaps he can be on with us at a later date. We've had a big week in the news this week. Biden was chosen for VP by Barack Obama, 36-year veteran of the status quo lifetime politician, and Sarah Palin, a surprise pick by McCain, and probably a good pick. I want to cover the tensions escalating in the Black Sea between us and Russia. Our media has been caught red-handed misleading the American people to the true facts in the conflict that has now subsided but is still very tense. Let's recap this event briefly, people. You just witnessed our media completely distort the truth, and both Obama and McCain went right along with their script, manipulating the masses. Russia has had peacekeepers in South Ossetia for 15 years. The conflict started when Georgia, under Saakashvili, carried out a midnight attack against the Russian peacekeepers. Russia responded very powerfully, even though Georgia has increased its military spending 3,000% on U.S. hardware since 2004. Soon they were in full retreat. Now, after the U.S. has killed over 1 million Iraqis, we complain the Russians were too aggressive after being attacked. When Georgia left the USSR in 1991, South Ossetia chose to remain with North Ossetia, which has been part of Russia since 1761. But the real story here is our media's attempt to report practically the complete opposite of the true facts. Other news outlets around the world now consider ours to be disingenuous and suspect to attempting to manipulate the citizens of the United States. We will discuss this further after our guest today, which will be joining us after the first break. We're going to turn to Brian now, and Brian is going to discuss how similar Obama and McCain may well turn out to be. What you got for us today, Brian?
This was an article from the August Review.com that I ran across yesterday. It's by Patrick Wood, the editor. Obama and McCain, pawns of the global elite. Will it matter if Obama or McCain are elected in November? Hardly. Both are rigidly backed by important members of the Trilateral Commission, who hijacked the executive branch of the U.S. government starting in 1976 with the election of Jimmy Carter. In Obama's case, Zbigniew Brzezinski, co-founder of the commission in 1973, is emerging as Obama's principal advisor on foreign policy. Ex-Fed Chairman Paul Volcker has also made once-in-a-lifetime glowing endorsement of Obama. Madeleine Albright is seen sitting next to Obama in several conferences. Shoot, even Jimmy Carter himself endorses Obama, all top members of the commission. John McCain is being supported by several Trilateral Commission giants, including Henry Kissinger, George Shultz, Lawrence Eagleburger, and Alexander Haig. All of these are ex-secretaries of state who issued a joint endorsement of McCain early on in his campaign. And unless Obama shoots both of his own feet or, before the general presidential election in November, he's most likely to be the next president of the United States. You would think that the Americans would want to know who the special interests are that are embodied by this Trilateral Commission and what they intend to do or not do with America. What is the Trilateral Commission, you may be wondering? The Trilateral Commission was founded by the persistent maneuvering of David Rockefeller and Brzezinski in 1973. Rockefeller was chairman of the ultra-powerful Chase Manhattan Bank, a director of many major multinational corporations and endowment funds, and has long been a central figure in the Council on Foreign Relations. Brzezinski, a brilliant prognosticator of one-world idealism, was a professor at Columbia University and the author of several books that have served as policy guidelines for the Trilateral Commission. Brzezinski served as the Commission's first executive director from its inception in 1973 until late 1976, when he was appointed by President Jimmy Carter as assistant to the President on National Security Affairs. The initial commission membership was approximately 300, with roughly 100 each from Europe, Japan, and North America. Membership was also roughly divided between academics, politicians, and corporate magnates. These included international bankers, leaders of prominent labor unions, and corporate directors of media giants. Realities of the New World Order. In 1972, Brzezinski wrote, and I quote, "Nation-state as a fundamental unit of man's organized life has ceased to be the principal effective force. International banks and multinational corporations are acting and planning in terms that are far in advance of the political concepts of the nation-state." The late Senator Barry Goldwater was one of the very few people who understood what Brzezinski was alluding to when he issued a clear and precise warning in his 1979 book, With No Apologies. And again I quote, "The Trilateral Commission is international and for multinational consolidation and the commercial and banking interests by seizing control of the political government of the United States. The Trilateral Commission represents a skillful, coordinated effort to seize, control, and consolidate the four centers of power: political, monetary, intellectual, and religious." The trilateral entrenchment, 1980 to 2008. Every administration since Carter has had a top-level trilateral commission representation through the president or vice president, or both. George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Al Gore, and Dick Cheney are all members. In turn, these have appointed their trilateral cronies to top positions within the government. For instance, 6 out of 7 World Bank presidents have been members of the commission. 8 out of 10 of the USTR, the trade representatives, have been members. Secretary of State, including Henry Kissinger, Cyrus Vance, Alexander Haig, George Shultz, Lawrence Eagleburger, Warren Christopher, and Madeleine Albright. Yep, all members of the Trilateral Commission. Follow the money and follow the power. You decide which is scarier, Obama and Brzezinski or McCain and Henry Kissinger. Either way, Americans will continue to lose. Every major crisis we face today is directly attributable to the policies put forth and executed by members of the Trilateral Commission. Banking, lending, and mortgage crisis, the energy gas price crisis, food shortage price crisis. In addition, in the last 15 to 20 years, we have lost millions of prime manufacturing jobs at China, India, and Mexico. Our prime assets being purchased by sovereign wealth funds and foreign investors. Our currency has all been destroyed throughout the world. Remember Brzezinski's vision that international banks and multinational corporations are acting and planning in terms that are far in advance of the political concepts of the nation-state? Well, that's been true enough, but for all their acting and planning at the expense of our own prosperity and sovereignty, who wants or needs more of the same under Obama or McCain? With friends like this, who needs enemies? For several presidential elections now, this voter has acted accordingly to the philosophy of voting for the lesser of two evils. Never again. A vote for either Obama or McCain is a vote for the complete destruction of America.